Now there's quite a few different types of heuchera. There's heuchera chocolate ruffles. Now this will take a little bit of dappled shade, but it's also a beautiful plant because it sits in that lower section and insulates the soil, and it travels across the ground. This is what we call a prostate, not a prostrate. Yeah, I keep mixing those two careers up. So this is the habit. This is the habit of the plant that will enable you guys to look like super successful gardens, right? Because it travels across prostrate. So you're embracing the plant's natural habit to insulate the soils by traveling across the ground. So that's a really great one, and what I would call that is floors. So I've got another one here called jelly beans. Look at this gorgeous thing. And you know, you can propagate this. There you go. That's for you. That's for you. Yeah, take that home and plant it. There you go. Because it's a succulent, right? So everyone knows now how to propagate succulents. It's so easy. But this one called jelly beans is one of my favorite varieties because it's a stone crop, but it gives you those little pink and green tips. So it really does look like jelly beans, and it scrambles across the ground and it insulates the soil, and it doesn't require a lot of water. So try to choose plants that don't require much of our natural resources, and that's again falls in the floor department. Who's got one of those paved areas and you're wondering what to do between the pavers? This is a fabulous plant. I use this all the time. It's Sagina subulata, or Irish moss. Irish moss, yeah. And this little guy will fill up all the gaps in between your pavers. Now the good thing about using these sorts of things is because when you don't have a solid paved area, you're creating less runoff. Okay, if you concrete the whole backyard just like you're sitting over here, like Mitch has, well that's fine if you've got a roof overhead and you want to create an amphitheatre and a staged area and a nursery and all that stuff, but it's not great for your backyard because it does create runoff. So every piece of rain that falls onto this concrete comes off the roof, onto the concrete, out into the gutters, into the stormwater systems. It picks up all the toxins and the oils and all the chemicals from cars, and then where does it end up? In the oceans, choking our fish, or in the Mississippi, choking our fish. So let's think about letting the water absorb into our own garden rather than sending it off-site. It's one of the best environmental tips that I can give you because you're keeping your own toxins in the soil and letting the soil be absorbed by the soil. So when you break up those pavers and you do paved areas with small slits through them, and you can get online and have a look at my garden, I've done the exact same thing. I've used this Sagina subulata in between the breaks because the water runs off my pavers into the cracks and the plant takes it up. Beautiful, simple. And I don't have to worry about, you know, the runoff eventually, you know, leaching into the natural environment.